Navajo, congratulations on the victory. I know maybe the fans didn't appreciate your work as much as you and your team did, but just your thoughts after your Octagon debut and picking up another win so early in your career like this.
Yeah, it was good to, obviously, when I look back at it now, to go 15 minutes for like my development and just cage time, just to show people what I got. I think we were just so too eager to hunt for the finish, and I kind of felt like he was in there to survive. I didn't feel like he was like really trying to win. I think he was trying to hold on. He was just trying to stay alive in there, and I think he probably believed the hype a little bit. And yeah, he's probably going to be happy with his performance, that he got out safe and alive. I've just gutted I didn't get the finish in front of the fans like I wanted for the big debut on the main card, but it's all good.
When did you sort of realize that in your mind that was his strategy? It wasn't about winning, it was just not getting finished out there.
Yeah, I think after the second round. When I hit him with some big shots and he like covered right up, it was like every time he kept doing the same thing. I was finding it hard to get low to his body when he had like his overhand from that shell. I feel like I made the adjustment in the third round just to pick my shots a little bit better.
There are fighters who, sometimes it takes 15, 20, 25 pro fights to make that UFC walk for the first time.
Yeah.
And you did it so early in your career, just 5 pro MMA fights. Tonight was your 6th.
Yeah.
What was that first Octagon walk like for you? Did it live up to the hype? Did you feel the jitters that Joe Rogan and others have talked about over the years?
Yeah, a little bit. I've played that so much in my head. I've looked at, I watch other young prospects very closely and see how they deal with the nerves, see how they deal with the hype, and seeing them go through like the motions and then folding under pressure, and those that rise to the pressure. And I just try to think about like what's like a reoccurring factor in some of their failures and some of the successes, and just try to do that, like rehearse it a lot in my head, what I'm going to do differently. And I felt like I just treated it like every other fight that I've had, and just like I've been out there 1,000 times over in my dreams and whatnot. So it's good.
And when you have guys like Israel Adesanya who've been there a million times, just working with you at the gym, and he obviously reacted to your win and shouted you out.
Yeah.
Like, how much does that help you when you're preparing for a moment like this? Just being able to be able to ask a guy like Izzy, or be able to ask a guy like Dan Hooker and other guys at CKB who have been to the top levels and been in the biggest spots in this organization.
Oh yeah, it's a cheat code. They've given me insight into their championship level. So this was like kind of small for me, and like when I try to make it feel more normal, I try to think of myself as a championship style athlete, and I invited all the pressure onto myself. I talked it up in the up and coming. I did all of that, and I felt like I still showed up and showed a good performance and what I have to offer. It's just, I just felt like I needed that dance partner in there with me.
February is going to be a busy month. They're going to be heading to Australia in February. We also found out that Israel Adesanya is actually fighting in February himself against Nasruddin Imavov. Are you thinking about that time frame, or is this too soon to even think about when you want to get back in there? You just kind of want to savor the flavor of this first win in the UFC?
Yeah. This will be like my 4th fight in 6.5 months. So I've been pretty active this year. It'll be good to, obviously fight as much as you want, but I'll see what my coaches have to offer, or what they say to me, what I need to work on. I definitely want to go back and work on some things, but I would like to be very active next year if I could.
Navajo right here. Congrats on the win. Getting to make your debut, not at the Apex, but in an arena with fans and on the main card, no less. Was that kind of a nice little perk to having your debut here?
Oh man, it was a dream come true. Like, end of 2023, I had my 2nd MMA fight, and that was like my first MMA fight was 2022. Second one was 2023, so it was very hard to find fights. But I said to myself at the end of that year, I will make my UFC debut 2024. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna just be undeniable. I started training right from Christmas break, like every day. I was in and out of camps because I wasn't too sure if I was gonna be fighting, and I just stayed active. I wanted to be undeniable this year. After my Contender Series win, they offered me the fight in December. I said straight away yes, like in the car on the way home to the airport. So I was like, man, I'm gonna make my way to here and just show everyone who I am.
And I don't know if these comments reached you, but Tuco said ahead of the fight that City Kickboxing didn't have the level of wrestling talent that they do at Killcliff and other gyms in the U.S., and he felt that would be a difference maker in the fight. Obviously, didn't go his way, but what is your kind of response to that? And do you feel that's an area you need to work on?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you always need to work on, right? Like, there's so many levels of wrestling. But, yeah, it was good to just put some respect on City Kickboxing Wrestling and our little gym in New Zealand. Like, we're a country of 5 million. Like, there's not even 5 million in, like, one... There's more than 5 million in a state in America. So to come from a small country where we don't have wrestling backgrounds and to just defend his wrestling like it was nothing... yeah, some of the guys in my gym are better wrestlers than him. So, yeah, I was like, I wasn't afraid of any of that at all. I mean, look at my other teammates. You know, Dan and Fort Gamrot, Israel was a championship level fighter, constantly defending takedowns. Yeah, it's just kind of good to obviously showcase that I have that and put some respect back on our country and gym's name.
And last one for me, you mentioned the busy schedule that you've had. Do you want to keep up a brisk pace going into 2025?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would like to fight at least three minimum. It's all about just keeping the injuries off me, staying healthy. That's my goal every year, is being in the gym as much as I can, nursing injuries. The more time you spend on the mats, it's just the better you become. Like, you don't lose that flow. You just like always sharp, and then like when you fight and add the progression and do the extras off camp, it like goes a long way. And I want to do that. Like, I want to fight through my prime, fight in my youth, use my youthful years to get as many fights as possible and to make myself relevant that way rather than just talk. You know, I think you can talk through beating everyone up.
Thanks. Congrats again.
It seems light heavyweight is a division that's in need of contenders. So I wanted to ask you, like, given your association with CKB and obviously, like, you enter the UFC with a lot of hype, how quickly do you want to rise up the ranks? Like, do you want to go straight into the toughest challenges you can get and try to get it to title contention as quick as possible, or are you kind of trying to sit back a little bit and gain some experience first?
Yeah, it's a good question. I definitely want to like earn my way. I would like to earn my way. I would like to beat people up and to get everyone's. I don't know. Like, I just want to fight my way. Like, whatever makes sense. You know, I don't want to be like fast tracked or not like sitting and hiding on the prelims. You know, my debut was I just opened up a main card. So like, who else is doing that? What contender is opening up a main card for the last UFC Fight Night of the year? I don't see anyone living up to that pressure. As well as, yeah, I feel like light heavyweight it's just like no one's taking the bull by the horns other than the champion. You know, we got guys that don't even speak English with the personality of a doll. You know, like we need some flavor up in here. So I'm here to bring that inside the cage and outside the cage.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's like very needed right now? The way you look at light heavyweight, you feel like it's, you know, you don't like what you're seeing so far in the landscape?
Yeah. I was always like, as a young guy watching in, I was like, when is light heavyweight going to get someone, you know? And I think they did a good job with Pereira. Like, they pushed him in, coming off of his, you know, sort of dynasty with Israel. And yeah, he kind of just took the spotlight quick. I think they liked what he had, and they just kind of marketed like his thing, and it done well. And yeah, look at him, he's a fan favorite. Yeah, I hope to do the same. Just like I'm like a normal person where like I just play video games and stuff all the time. Like, people don't know that about me, you know, and that's me. That's me. Like, I'm a complete nerd outside the cage, and you wouldn't believe it, you know.
Yeah, and hold on to that thought for a second. But is the Pereira fight sort of like a dream matchup for you? Is that somebody that like?
Yeah, that would be. Like, he's pretty old now. Like,
yeah.
I think in a couple of years when I'm like obviously up there, he might be like finished and done with it, probably fighting Jake Paul or something. But yeah, I mean that would be a fairy tale fight, right? That would be like Izzy fighting Anderson Silva all over again. That's the way I see it. So I would love the opportunity if it ever happened. Yeah, be cool.
Two last quick ones. How much do you weigh on fight day? Because you look absolutely massive compared to any other light heavyweight.
Yeah, I was about, I think, 104, 105 kilograms. I don't know how much that is in pounds, but it's like maybe like 10, 11 kilos. I got a good stomach, bro. I just start down in the fluids. They tell me like, oh, you should have like one per hour, but I just like, nah, stuff that. I'm thirsty as I can take it. Like I just start down in it, bro.
What video games you play, by the way?
Big on the Rainbow Six Siege. Man, what else? Like a lot of story-driven games. I was a big like Skyrim guy. What else, man? Yeah, I play all kind of games, like a lot of RPG games. Like, man, I love it. If I'm not training, I'm playing games. So, yeah. Huh? Yeah, Fallout, bro. I played all the Fallout series. Man, can't wait for like all the other games to come out. But Rainbow Six Siege is what I play most of the time.
I got one last quick one. Navajo Stirling is a tremendous mixed martial arts name. Do you feel like Navajo Stirling is like the best name in MMA? Because you could only be a fighter with that name.
Yeah, I believe so. When I was a kid, I didn't really like it because I was like, oh, why isn't my name normal like other kids? And yeah, I mean, now, and I used to think like, why do I look so funny? Like, but now I'm just like, I look different. Nobody looks like me. Nobody has the same name as me. So I'm just taking it in my grace now and just going with it. Sweet, thank you.